Namaste. It's the Spiritual Daywalker with your tarot card reading for this full moon phase. And this full moon is going to be in Aries. So Pisces, you're going to get some fire energy to own your vulnerability, which is also determined by Chiron being in conjunction. And Chiron is the wounded healer, the planet for like the energy that is tied to our childhood wounds, in a sense, or the wounds that we've been carrying, right? The vulnerability, the trigger points, all that stuff. And Aries is going to empower us to bring that forth, right? And stand by it, and maybe even teach other people how we overcame it. That's what I wish for you, Pisces. Let me just clean the space real quick. That's how the modern readers do it, right? Giving a fuck. Nah, seriously, this is a general reading. If the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If it does resonate with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe, and share to whoever might enjoy this reading style. Now, Pisces, I really hope that this is going to be a pleasant reading for you. There's probably going to be some profound insights, but that Aries energy makes it really not only bearable, but makes you proud of being able to put that forward, probably. All right, now let's see in the DNA spread. The spirit comes into manifestation, the energies balancing around it. In your soul spot, there's a Two of Swords, and it's in reverse. The soul spot, I mean, like, there's no negative cards in tarot in general, right? It's all just energy that we're working with and that we're prepared to work with. In a soul spot especially, because the soul spot means your soul is deciding on what energy to embody or to leave behind. In this case, is leaving behind a Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, that is a protective mindset that you've been holding on to, and that is kind of blinding you to blinding you towards something, making you unable to progress from it. So for me, it's my card for coping mechanisms. And there we are, right on the nose, right on the topic, right? Your soul decided it's time to let go of some coping mechanisms. That is Chiron, right? That is exactly that energy. Now, let's see the challenge that you're facing, that all of this is revolving around. In the spot of the 9, that is the ultimate spirit number, right? 3, the 6, and the 9 make up the center of the tree. So the 9 is the digital root of everything. It's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So it is the spiritual insight that is here, like the lesson you have to learn, in a sense, to clear this, right? And that is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, it's in reverse. So basically, well, it's a vision card. It is the card for manifesting your vision, right? Taking it to the next level. It is delayed, so you're going to realize something about why it is delayed, right? Why you haven't manifested it like exactly the way you wanted it to. There's something more in that Three of Wands. It is an energy that is propelling your vision forward no matter the cost. Sometimes I feel that. It's not, well, it is the energy I'm getting from the Three of Wands. It's like, if the fire energy has decided for a direction and is moving, sometimes someone gets burned, right? And that's like at all cost kind of energy. Maybe, just maybe, dialing that kind of energy down a little is part of it. We have to see it has both of those connotations somehow. It's being either going too strong for a vision or not going for a vision at all, right? That's why it's in reverse. So now let's see how you're manifesting this insight about this in your reality. In the spot of the 10, there's a Five of Pentacles in reverse, so there's a shift in your reality. As a 5 is for change, and Pentacles is earth energy, so it is the tangible, it is the manifested, the the real world in a sense, right? Call this being realistic, one of my favorite words these times, right? It is you feeling left out in the cold somehow, feeling left alone with something, whatever. That's all this energy is portraying. Now it is in reverse, so there's a good chance you're already getting out of this, right? You've like been dealing with this wound for a long time, and now you're manifesting a similar situation that suddenly feels different because you are in a different energy, right? That is what that could mean, right? Now let's see how the energies actually are balancing around this, how you're getting to a Five of Pentacles in reverse right here. It feels almost like there wasn't exactly what you had in mind, but you see that there's a pattern to it, right? That is supposed to get you closer to what you truly want to manifest here. Yeah, and that means also losing the coping mechanisms that lead to this, right? And have been leading to this over and over again. Feels like a repetitive pattern. So let's see, in the spot of the one, the thing that gets you moving, that gives you energy to walk the walk and talk the talk, hopefully. The Ten of Swords, interesting. So you're like, thinking won't get me nowhere. I have to move. I have to do something about this, right? I cannot be stuck in my head here. This is done, right? Which is funny. Because like to lose a Two of Swords, you have to think a little, right? You have to at least realize there has to be some clarity in there. So if you're coming from that energy where you're like having too many thoughts and then realizing this is not exactly making you happy, where does it take you? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You thought you were so smart, and then you realized it's just like inflicting pain in your mind. Thinking about that. You don't want to think about that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Usually for me, the Ten of Swords is a very good card, right? Like a very positive energy, because that bull's already dead. Like inner peace has come, right? It's like, it's not a Nine of Swords where you're like stressing out about something. This is you realizing that all these thoughts actually are doing more harm than good. At least that is what's getting you moving. It is received, on the other hand, by a Ten of Cups in reverse. Wow, a 10 and a 10. A Ten of Swords that's getting you moving, a Ten of Cups that is keeping you in check, and the Ten of Cups is in reverse. So you're networking, well, it is the emotional exchange to the fullest. The Ten of Cups is a card for like ultimate happiness and also being reflected back that happiness. So it can be that you're not being reflected back that happiness you seek, right? Like you want to feel like your radiant self again, but you're not quite there yet, and that's why the reality is not exactly mirroring that. It's not exactly mirroring that, even though you want to go there, right? You want to move from the swords more into the cups, from the mind more into the fields, right? Something is off with that feeling, though. Yeah? Something is not exactly reflecting that back. Like your reality is not exactly giving you back the feedback you desire. Now, why is that? In the spot of the three, we're going to find out more about why that is. Now, let's see. Son of Pentacles. That is you realizing, gotta be a little careful. Gotta like do stuff right. Do your due diligence. Make your homework, right? Son of Pentacles is moving, but is moving cautiously, carefully. And if that is what you're realizing from that, it's like, okay, maybe it's not reflecting back because I have to be a little more careful on how I share my emotions, how I shine on others, how I like build my network, stuff like that. Because the Ten of Pentacles, it means a lot. Like Ten of Cups means a lot, right? And then the Son of Pentacles as a realization is like, okay, I don't have to overthink, but to be my radiant self again, I do have to set some things right here. Now let's see what that is. In your challenge row, surrounding that, Three of Wands in reverse, which also has a lot of meaning. It's not exactly clear yet where your reading is going to go, and it probably is different for all of you. I mean, it's going deep. That much I can tell, even if there's no major arcana yet on the table. Starting with a Two of Swords in reverse, that's like, okay, drop the act, you know. It's like, now drop the act would be like a fire energy in reverse, but this Two of Swords is like, you don't have to protect yourself anymore. Not like this, right? Stop thinking about it too much, or at least that is what you want to, stopping to think about it, but then you're not exactly feeling it, or you're not exactly shining like it. Sorry, there's a giant insect on my door. Oh yeah, talking about it, I should close the door if I blaze the lights in here like that. Well, welcome to Bali. There's animals anywhere, right? Anywhere, everywhere. And I believe some June bugs are breeding in my room somewhere. There's a lot of them here. And I saw a little June bug like this. You know, the things are really fucking big usually. And it was so tiny. Fucking amazing. Wow. Thank you for being able to share that excitement. And whatever that is, I actually don't want to figure it out. Never mind. Let's see. In the spot of the fourth, thing that gives you stability, like your fallback thought, which doesn't exactly have to be good, but it is something that gives you stability. Wow. Well, if the Five of Wands is what's giving you a sense of stability, then you're basically looking for conflict, right? And if you're looking for conflict, no wonder you're not reflected back positively. Um, it is connected diagonally, and you got 10 10 5 on the table and on the outer sides, yeah, and you're manifesting a 5 down here. Very interesting. So it is pivotal in a sense. Numerologically, it's very fucking pivotal. So if your fallback thought is that it's going to be conflict anyway, you know, and you can't make everyone happy, so fuck them, that kind of deal. I don't know if this is going to take you where you want to go, right? Because if that is what you want to experience, well, right now it isn't. Right now, what you want to experience, what you so want to experience, you want to lose those coping mechanisms, right? So the people in your life are going to reflect the energy back that you're giving off, and that is, well, clear the space. It's well intended, let's say. It's well intended. You want to be more in your field, but you actually want to get away from thoughts. So this like, the Son of Pentacles though is a good insight. It's like wanting to progress in the physical, but also knowing that you have to do stuff right, be a little careful, right? Because otherwise it's not received well, and you kind of need it to be received well, even though you kind of enjoy the conflict, whatever. I don't know why. Could be that there's a wound in there, right? If you think the world is made up of conflict, of course you got some coping mechanisms how to deal with that. I mean, like, you're a Pisces, for fuck's fucking sake. That means you are very emotional at your core. But some of the Pisces I met, and like I didn't meet a lot actually, but it's always very curious. It's always very, very particular because they don't show themselves that easily. I saw most of them acting from a different energy that what I was expecting, and that Pisces shows in particular situations when it feels safe to show, right? And trying to share emotionality and being either not well received or overwhelmed or not able to show emotions like that. Like that's why this Ten of Pentacles is in reverse. That is tied to that Pisces. Like it makes sense that it's either a 10 or a 0, you know? It's like either you're opening up like truly or you're not opening up at all. Get it? I do get it, right? Because you're so sensitive, you've been hurt a lot of times, right? You learn to deal with that conflict with like fire energy, I guess, right? Let's see. In a spot of the 5, the thing that is causing friction to arise, which is always good when you're going for a change, right? I don't see you exactly going for a change. It's your soul's decision to drop the act. It's not yours per se, like not your character's decision. You are learning that through this experience. Now, in the spot of the 5, the thing that causing conflict is the Emperor. The Emperor is causing conflict. So that is your idea of authority, right? Of how to portray authority that is causing conflict. And maybe it's how you portray authority that is causing conflict because you feel home in conflict, you know? So it's easy for you to just like roll over people because no fucks given, right? But it's also stemming from how you've experienced authority in your life. Probably not exactly the most pleasant experiences, since it's also tied to that 10 of Swords right here, diagonally, right? So dealing with how masculine, authoritarian, structuring, controlling energy has been portrayed in your life is probably core of the matter, right? And it's even like, look at those cards, they're even tied with the eclipse, with the solar eclipse. So this is another hint that this process is gonna be ending with the solar eclipse, right? So the entire 2 weeks, right, you're gonna be tackling your idea of masculinity, of authority, of control, right? Sometimes trying to control things that are not yours to control and ending up in conflict, sometimes being controlled or feeling controlled and being in conflict again. But you're well intentioned. You're well intentioned to make it work, right? And to ground something in your reality, like you to be more cautious on how you go about this. Like, yeah, this is very interesting. And that Emperor, I rarely get the idea of Emperor or Empress being a father or mother, because it's always like a little bigger than that even. Usually a father or mother issues are, yeah, well, shown in a father or a mother on the table, right, from the court cards. Here, that Emperor, it's stemming from the father, or let's say the masculine authoritarian energy you've encountered in your life, which has a lot to do with your father. But it's more than that. That's why I say it's authoritarian. So it can be a system. It can be trying to fit into a system, right? It can be this idea of hard work in there, and all this stuff that our modern society is deeming valuable. It's very very masculine, and I don't mean that by male, but don't mean male by that. I mean masculine in the sense that it is all for progress and control and structure, and and this is going to shift, but it's going to take a few hundred more years to be a matriarchy, because therefore we have to change our moral system that is building that society, right? It's not going to, you're not going to be able to impose the rules so people think differently. You have to make people think differently to come up with different kind of rules. So that's why it's going to take a little bit. But for you, it's going to take 2 weeks. It's going to take 2 weeks to encounter this Emperor energy in different ways, probably through confrontation with authoritarianism. Is that the right word? Or confrontation with authority. Don't make it so big, right? Through confrontation with masculine energy through people, right? That can be, if you're a man, that can be a very strong woman where you're ooh, you're kind of experiencing your own masculinity in a different way. Well, that is if you're straight. If whatever, right? It can be either sex. That's what I wanted to say. So you're gonna encounter that energy within you, within situations, within other people, and yeah, it's gonna rub you the right way here and then, right? And then you're gonna rub people the right way. It's gonna rub you exactly the right way. Yeah, well, it's kind of what I meant, right? Gonna rub you the right way. Fair enough. Gonna teach you something anyway. Now let's see how you're manifesting this actually, because this is still in the challenge role. It's still very abstract, right? How you're manifesting this. How do you get to this here? To your world shifting and you working with that shift, in the physical, right? And the spot of the 7, the spot of the 7 is about identity, and you got a 7 of Cups in the spot of the 7. So your identity is largely attached to trying to control your emotions, right? This is the shitting yourself about your feelings card, right? 7 of Cups is having a strong identity about your emotionality. And I interpreted that for a Cancer in a different way, where you're okay, you feel home with that energy. You're very good at this, right? It was in a different spot though. For you, especially as a Pisces, a mutable water, as a very sensitive being, you are attached to trying to feel a certain way, to controlling your emotions, right? Not exactly swallowing them, it's not that bad, but it's you're shitting yourself. And you're attached to being able to shit yourself because you kind of need it as a survival mechanism. And this is related, right? So this is something, and it has to do with your Emperor, right? So why are you shitting yourself about how you feel? Because you don't want to stand weak in front of that Emperor. You want to impress that Emperor, right? Of course. So you can't seem weak. You have to be in control of your emotions. That is what makes up your identity, what you're what you're trying to achieve here, right? I don't know if that is exactly where you want to be energetically. On the other hand, the thing that is actually bringing you abundance in the spot of the 8, it is the 8 of Wands. That's communication. That's talking about shit. And also knowing what you truly want. What you truly want is probably not exactly the conflict here. I mean, you're good at conflict. You're looking for that conflict. And if you honor that 8 of Wands, that card for communications, and good news coming in also, right? There is good news coming in. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's still about clearing your coping mechanisms, though. We're going to see in the spot of the 6 probably, if there is news, what good news it is, because this doesn't exactly seem like super positive news, right? 5 of Pentacles in reverse is more like, well, things are shifting, gotta work with it, you know, feeling left out in the cold again, whatever, I got my feelings under control, you know. It's like, yeah, it's strong, all right, I get it, but I mean, like, since what gives you stability is conflict and confrontation, and knowing how to deal with conflict and confrontation, that's a great thing. I mean, that's a strong fucking Pisces. Wow, fuck yeah. So don't let me put anything in your mind that's not supposed to be there, right? Or in your reality. This is good, but your soul decided to drop that act and to free yourself from the mindsets you don't need to shield yourself anymore. So that is, it's all tied to that. And if that's all tied to that, there's always that connotation of what you need to do to get there. Like, where is it hidden? And then I see in your security spot, there's confrontation, and in your identity spot, there is like emotional delusion almost, right? No, I don't feel like that. No, you know, it's like, no, I'm not hurt. Why should I? Why should I be? I'm good with conflict. I'm not hurt. No emperor can ever hurt me, right? I'm not going to think about it. You know, that kind of deal. It's like, no, I'm sorry. That's not the way to go about it. It is strong. It is coming from somewhere, and it has to be honored. I mean, like, it kept you alive for so long. So it's not, we're doing this on a very deep level here. Like, you're a beautiful soul, and you are perfect. It's nothing to fix here. Your soul just decided it's time to clear out that residue, right? So it's totally fine. And like, if you're as sensitive as a Pisces, a little 7 of Cups is a good idea. You know, I'm not judging per se. I'm evaluating. The energies on the table. And the energies on the table say, there's good news coming in, a chance for abundance, but it has to be addressed, it has to be talked about, and it has to be confronted in a sense that this 10 of Cups is in reverse, that this emotionality is in reverse. Very freaking interesting. I want to see in the spot of the 6, the thought that elevates your experience, the epiphany you get from all of this that sends you into the right direction. That is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a very beautiful card. It's like, well, okay, I'm personally not a big fan of the Hierophant. It was used to be called the Pope. It is the cleric, right? So it is the masculine way of going about spiritual things, like setting up a system of rules, right? Morals, right? Defining what it is to be doing the right thing, defining right from wrong. It's a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. Usually I'm not that fond of this because it's not exactly, well, it is insightful, but it's not the high priestess per se. The high priestess is more waiting for that insight, getting it, knowing it. The Hierophant is trying to make sense of it and apply it into, like, put it in a structure. That's why it's a card for tradition also, you know? And also a card for authority, right? What I can tell you is that Emperor is on the other side of conflict, then having an epiphany in the Hierophant energy is way better than enduring that Emperor. That is you being honest about what you feel is right and wrong, you know. Then you can make a decision whether you think that emperor was right causing conflict, or whether you think it's okay causing conflict as long as you're an emperor, you know. I don't think that you truly believe that. I think the way you're dealing with that masculine energy in your life, and the way you are portraying that masculine energy in your life, the way you're trying to control structure, right? And, well, take responsibility, whatever, right? It's very much driven by this idea of conflict and having to be strong. But it seems, since the Three of Wands is in reverse, it's not exactly your own idea. It is more like a survival mechanism. And that is, whoa, it's fair. And it made you strong and all that stuff. But what I see in your emotions, right here, the only emotions on the table per se, and you're a water sign, right? The emotions are shitting yourself about it, like, no, I'm not feeling hurt. And the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Seven of Cups, and Ten of Cups. Seven of Cups is like emotional betrayal, and the Ten of Cups is in reverse. So that is wanting to be, like, wanting to feel good, right? Wanting to have that reflect back, to live in an environment that is sending positive vibes. But it's in reverse. It's delayed. Why is that delayed? Well, because you're not seeking for it actively. You're seeking for conflict because that's all you know. And because everything sort of feels like conflict to you. And you've been dealing well with it, right? You've been working with this. But now you manifested a change in what you think success is, a change in your living situation, in your environment, you know, feeling left out in the cold again. You know what? Never again, right? Coming out of that energy. So how do you come out of that energy? Gotta talk about it. Like, there is some news coming in. It's gonna be nice. But it's gonna lead to conflict because that's all you know. And well, I want to do right by you, right? This is on a high level. It's going deep. Your insight, in the end, is a Hierophant. That is a very righteous, intuitive, spiritual kind of energy that is like, and the Hierophant kind of looking at that Empress like, it's not exactly right what you've been doing. Well, you are dealing with the masculine energies in your life, the way you are incorporating them, the way you are encountering them, right? And you're redefining your vision. Your vision is going to come to be the moment you learned how to be a proper emperor. And it is not how you've been experiencing the emperor. It might not be as bad as I make it out to be right here. Like I said, we're painting a picture of a very specific part of your subconscious here, because that is where you're coming from. Your soul decided to explore those coping mechanisms, right? So it's not about you being a nervous wreck, you know, and just like being all over controlling in every part of your life. No. Just when it comes to how to incorporate that masculine energy, how to be assertive in a way that is not causing conflict, but actually bringing a structure for conflict not to arise, right? That is possible. It is possible to provide a structure for conflict not to arise. But the fact that you're so used to that conflict, that could be a problem. and what's getting you into abundance out of that self-betrayal is communication and being open to communication, right? But it's also about like realizing what you truly want. What you truly want is being wise, not being strong. Not only, right? It's not only about being strong and assertive and authoritarian. It is about doing the right thing and doing what is right for you. And also, this Hierophant makes you, especially in that epiphany spot, makes you look at the traditions and morals you live by tradition, makes you question them, right? Do your due diligence, because they are oscillating right here. So the Son of Pentacles is trying to do right, and the Hierophant is kind of showing the Son of Pentacles how, right? And what right really is. What does it mean to be a good person, right? Let me tell you, the Emperor is a beautiful energy, but having power doesn't make you a good person. We know that, right? And the Emperor is about power. It is also about wisdom, yes, but if it's, like I said, on the other hand of conflict, is like, how? How can an emperor be an emperor with causing minimal conflict? It's not about no conflict at all. Conflict per se is a good thing. But remember, in your reading right here, the roles are reversed, or like the ideas are reversed sides, right? So the emperor is in your spot of conflict, and the card for conflict is in your spot of structure and security. So it's flipped. Something is off, you know? It should be like this. That would be a different thing. The emperor is something you can fall back on and rely on. Your own strength, the strength of the authority figures in your life. And in the spot of conflict, there is actual conflict and a conflict of interest that the emperor then deals with. That's a different thing. With your reading, it's the other way around. So the emperor is causing conflict, and what you feel secure about is dealing with that conflict. So that means you're so used to staying strong in front of that emperor because it's always causing conflict. You're so used to conflict that you build like a fortress around it, right? That you around your heart, in a sense, right? So whatever you are manifesting right here, and that communication about emotion, right, and that insight about your emotionality, that is making you question the morals you live by, all coming from a change in your reality that is kind of triggering that. That is going to show you how you've been dealing and portraying that. And once you've been dealing with that, realizing why an emperor actually is not about conflict. An emperor has to be not afraid of conflict. But the intention of the emperor is always to end the conflict, right? It's supposed to be like that, right? We're not talking about a senseless, progressive fire energy. We're talking about a major arcana emperor energy right here. It's a wise judge that is not shying away from conflict, but his main goal is to end it, right? And in your reading, it's not like that. Well, it's not like that. Maybe his intention was to not cause conflict, but seems like a tough love right here. So that is very interesting. I don't want to think about it, but you cannot not think about it in a sense, because, well, A, your soul decided to think about it, and B, something in your reality is shifting where in the end you don't get exactly the beautiful feedback that you wanted to, and it's going to make you think, maybe I should be a little careful, or maybe there's a way to ground myself to, Maybe there's something I missed. Let's start simple, right? Maybe there's something I'm missing here, right? Yeah, your emperor and your conflict are flipped. It's like, yeah, Pisces. I don't know how long I've been talking on this reading. It's not exactly easy. It's a little complex. I can't tell you exactly what is shifting. It seems like a change in living situation. It seems like a change in funds. Nah, it's a sense of stability that is tackled here. That can mean funds, but it's more like feeling left out in the cold again. That kind of feeling. So that is what you're manifesting here, what's then shedding a light on how you've have been communicating emotions, and how you actually want to communicate them, what's like underneath the surface. The moon is going to show. The moon is going to show how you truly feel. And then it's your decision how you deal with that. It is, however, going to tackle your Hierophant, your inner mentor, your higher self, that is going to ask you, hey, look at the Emperor here. What do you think makes a man? What do you think makes a successful authority figure? What do you think is being assertive? And what do you think power means? All that stuff. Are you really happy with the power you portray? Or are you just mirroring what has been done to you? And if so, do you want to continue? Or do you want to make it your own? These are the rhetorical questions I leave you with, Pisces. Kind of an interesting reading. I told you in the beginning, I felt it. If that resonated with you, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. If you want to go deeper into your personal experience, definitely hit me up for an online reading session. I'd love to be of service. Check out my website, daywalker-bali.com, daywalker-bali.shop. There I'm building something. Sign up for the newsletter so I can keep you up to date when it's going live. And well, definitely enjoy this energy, because you're gonna be enjoying it. I feel like you're gonna be enjoying it, because more than not, you are yourself in that Emperor energy. You're just gonna refine it, right? And know that once you've done this, once you made this your own, right, this moral system you live by, once you truly refined that, right, not relying on seeking out that conflict anymore, subconsciously and actively, whatever. Once you did that, you're getting there. You are refining your vision. So when you're ready with this flips right side up, and you are manifesting something you truly want. It's probably going to be maybe during eclipse season. Maybe eclipse season is making room for that, right? Maybe it's even before eclipse season, when that Three of Wands actually flips upside down and you're like, this is what I want to do, right? Eclipse season then is going to make room for the new thing to emerge, right? And it's funny because, one last thing, eclipse season back in the day, like in medieval times, whatever, was the season where kings, like generations were shifting, new kings were coming to power. So it was like the kingmaker season, or whatever they called it. So it was known to be the season where the reigns are more likely to shift. Now guess what you're dealing with right here? The king, right? So you're very spot on with your energy, even with the ancient traditions. And yeah, thank you, Pisces. Thank you for listening. I love you.